Small group leaders, welcome to week 14 of our time together. This will be our last session together. It's been the last video and last small group of the semester. And it ends on what is one of my favorite stories in all the scriptures in John chapter 8. You'll notice going into John chapter 8, there's some words that bracketed there that the earliest manuscripts do not include these verses. Don't get too caught up in that. I can put some resources in there that can maybe help you understand that. It's really seen as a story that very likely happened. It's just that John didn't write it down. But as the scriptures were put together, they realized, oh, this story is in there. It's real. It's authentic. They just are kind of covering themselves to make sure that everybody knows that this wasn't included in the earliest of the manuscripts. And so again, don't get too caught up in that. That's a good way to get kind of distracted from what is even being said here. Again, I'll toss some resources in there so that you can kind of see more about that. But there's this fascinating, famous story of a woman who was caught in adultery by the Jewish people, by the scribes and the Pharisees, the scribes being kind of the religious lawyers of the day. They would have known everything. And the Pharisees, obviously being well-versed in the law themselves, brought a woman to Jesus who had been caught, likely right in the midst of the act of adultery, and placed her right in front of Jesus as he's teaching. And they're like, hey, Jesus, what are you going to do with this? Because Moses said she sinned and she's supposed to die. We can kill her because of this act. And they sought to trap Jesus in doing this, that if yeah, you're the God of grace, but you also said you're the God who keeps the law. And so which one's going to win here? Is your kindness going to play out, or is the law going to be fulfilled? Is the law going to supersede this, and everybody's going to know that you killed this lady? And despite all that was going on, there was no man that was brought to them here, despite all the lowest of the low, just grossness that's happening in this passage. Jesus isn't going to be cornered. He invented the corners. You can't catch this guy. And it says that John wrote that Jesus bent down and began to write with his finger on the ground. It's one of those questions I would like to ask the Lord when we get to heaven, if I get a chance to do that. I may not care about answers at that point. But I wonder why he was writing on the ground there. We don't know. But they continued to kind of badger him. What are you going to do about this? What are you going to do about this, Jesus? And Jesus knew that there was something else that was hidden in the law, that even these great lawyers who would have known this stuff, these Pharisees who would have been well-versed in this, either they forgot or they overlooked. That when you bring someone in the way that they're trying to bring this lady to be killed in front of the court, you kind of have to have your own house in order. If you're going to judge on the basis of every letter of the law, you have opened yourself to now being judged on the basis that your life has to be in order. If you're going to do this to somebody else, you can't have any skeletons in your closet if you're going to try to find the skeletons in someone else's. If the world operates on justice the way that these guys think it does, then Jesus is saying this to them: let him who is without sin be the first to throw the stone. Let the one here who has never done anything wrong be the one to throw the rock and kill this lady. Now, Jesus could have been the one that did that. Jesus, he didn't have any sin. And it says one by one, they dropped their rocks and began to walk away. What a stunning picture this must have been for this lady and for Jesus and for all those watching. And Jesus goes to her and he says, who's going to throw that rock? Who's going to condemn you? She's like, nobody does, I guess. And he says, then neither do I condemn you. Now go and leave your life of sin. That's the gospel in a sentence. John 3:17. He didn't come to the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him could be saved, because you were already condemned by the world. And then Jesus says, I don't condemn you. Now go and leave your life of sin. Jesus does what he always does. He tells what's true before he ever tells anybody what to do. If you flip that, you lose the gospel. Leave your life of sin, and then you won't be condemned. That's works-based righteousness. That's what the Pharisees lived in. That's what made them tick. And Jesus came to flip this on its head to say, you have been declared righteous. You've been declared just. You've been made free. Now go and leave your life of sin. You don't have to do these things anymore. You don't have to find comfort in the arms of another man that's not your husband. You don't have to do these things anymore. You are set free from that. You are able to no longer sin because of what Jesus has done for you. It's the gospel. You're set free. Now go and leave this life of sin. And instead, trade this life of sin for a life that longs to know Jesus more deeply, for a life of righteousness. That's what he sets us free to do. This is John chapter 8. It's the gospel. If you have any questions at all, reach out to me, reach out to the discipleship director on your campus, reach out to your pastor, your congregation. I guarantee you they would love to talk to you about this, because we get to share the freedom of Christ with our people, that we don't stand under condemnation. We stand under the smile of the Jesus who loves us. So thanks for your work this semester. You guys are rock stars. We could not do this without you. You are the heartbeat and the backbone of Midtown. And may everything that we do be done for the gospel. Enjoy week 14 together in John chapter 8, and we'll see you again this fall.